Welcome to RedditDive, where we uncover captivating stories designed to help you unwind and drift into a peaceful sleep in just over 6 minutes. So, sit back, relax, and let your mind wander as we guide you into a restful night.
The hillside is dotted with white plum trees like puffs of smoke, each of them filmy and dapples as a round cloud. At 5:30 in the morning, under the dew and the slanting rays of sunrise, the young wheat is incontestably blue, the earth rust red, and the white plum trees coppery pink. It is only for a moment, a magic delusion of light that fades with the first hour of day. Everything grows with miraculous speed. Even the tiniest plant thrusts upwards with all its strength. And the days move on, and the names of the months change, and the 4 seasons bury one another, and it is spring again, and yet again. And the small streams that run over the rough sides of Gormenghast Mountain are big with rain while the days lengthen, and summer sprawls across the countryside, sprawls in all the swathes of its green, with its gold and sticky head, with its slumber and the drone of doves, and with its butterflies and its lizards and its sunflowers, over and over again. Its doves, its butterflies, its lizards, its sunflowers, each one an echo child, while the fruit ripens and the grotesque boles of the ancient apple trees are dappled in the low rays of the sun, and the air smells of such rotten sweetness as brings a hunger to the breast, and makes of the heart a seabed, and a tear, the fruit of salt and water, ripens, fed by a summer sorrow, ripens and falls. Falls gradually along the cheekbones, wanders over the wastelands listlessly, the loveliest emblem of the heart's condition. And the days move on, and the names of the months change, and the 4 seasons bury one another, and the field mice draw upon their granaries. The air is murky, and the sun is like a raw wound in the grimy flesh of a beggar, and the rags of the clouds are clotted. The sky has been stabbed and has been left to die above the world, filthy, vast, and bloody. And then, the great winds come and the sky is blown naked, and a wild bird screams across the glittering land. And the Countess stands at the window of her room with the white cats at her feet and stares at the frozen landscape spread below her. And a year later she is standing there again, but the cats are abroad in the valleys, and a raven sits upon her heavy shoulder. Growing up in the Gormenghast Mountain means growing up with sand between your toes and the sound of waves crashing like a lullaby every night. You get used to the seasonal pulse, quiet winters with closed shops and empty streets. Then suddenly, Memorial Day hits, and the town explodes with tourists, arcade lights, and that constant smell of boardwalk fries and pizza. Life's not all beach parties and boardwalk games, though. At home, things have been tough. Dad lost his job at the shipyard last winter, and Mum's been pulling double shifts at the diner just to keep us afloat. So when I turned 16, I signed up to be a lifeguard. Not just because I heard girls dig lifeguards, but because the pay was decent and I figured I'd be helping out. Despite being on the swim team since middle school, the training was brutal. The Atlantic isn't your friendly neighborhood pool. It's wild and unpredictable. Coach drilled us hard on rescues in rough surf, first aid until we could wrap bandages in our sleep, and the dreaded 500-meter swim against the clock. I finished every session with my muscles screaming and my lungs burning, tasting salt on my lips, whether from sweat or the sea I couldn't tell. Being a lifeguard has its perks. The view from the stand is unbeatable. Miles of ocean, spectacular sunrises, and a front row seat to the world waking up. The community gives respect, too. You're seen as a local hero, whether you're rescuing a lost kid or treating a jellyfish sting. Plus, local shop owners often toss free food and drinks our way, a nod to the hard work and long hours we put in on the beach. It's a small-town perk that never gets old. Up in the watchtower, I lean back in the creaky wooden chair that's seen better days, my eyes scanning the horizon where the sky meets the sea. It's a slow day, the kind that falls in the lull between the fireworks of July 4th and the last hurrah of Labor Day. The beach isn't deserted, but it's not the wall-to-wall blanket mess of high season either. A few families dot the sand, kids building sandcastles and chasing waves, while a couple of older tourists brave the chilly water with tentative steps. It's from behind me. "Hey, Watchtower Daydreamer, you saving any lives today or just the flies?" I turn to find Tori Ellis, leaning against the doorframe with that lopsided grin that's always spelled trouble. Tori, with her sun-bleached hair always tied back in a reckless bun and the kind of tan lines that tell stories of long summer days spent outdoors. Tori and I have run in the same circles forever, or at least since we both started doggy paddling at the YMCA, though Tori has always been one step ahead. She's just a year older than me, but it feels like more. When I was fumbling through my first awkward swim meet, she was already setting school records. By the time I caught up to join the team, she was the captain. She's always seemed just a bit out of reach, always a grade ahead and, in my mind, miles too far. Thank you for diving into these stories with us. We hope they brought you closer to a peaceful night's sleep. As you drift off, remember that we'll be here whenever you need a gentle escape into rest. Until next time, sleep well and dream easy.